Okay. Hi guys, good evening. My name is Ahmad Taki Bianisham and I am currently studying in SEGI. I am taking diploma in business administration. So this is our group member. Next. Next. So today we are going to talk about history of Malaysia, we choose the topic of Malayan Communist Party. So the Communist Party of Malaya, also known as the Malayan Communist Party, was a political party active in Singapore, the Federation of Malaya, and later Malaysia. It was founded in 1930 and dissolved in 1989. The Malayan Communist Party, also known as the Communist Party of Malaya, was a militant and anti-imperialist political party that was established in 1930 and was responsible for the information of Malayan peoples, anti-Japanese army, and the Malayan National Liberation Army. During the World War II, the Communist Party led anti-fascist resistance against the Japanese occupation of Malaya. And during the Malayan emergency, it waged a national independence war against the British Empire. Next. I will pass to my partner.
So the Malayan People's Anti-Japanese Army (MAJA) is a resistance movement that was formed to combat Japanese occupation of Malaysia during World War II. So its main aim is to fight against Japanese army. Yes. So it was began in December 1941. The Malaya was conquered within 10 weeks by the Japanese army. The group was trained by British military force in preparation for these possibilities. The MPAJA was established after the guerrilla realized the war was inevitable. The army was largely made up of Chinese communists, with few Kuomintang, nationalist Chinese, and Malay mixed in for good measure. The Malayan Communist Party was able to penetrate the guerrillas and emphasize the post-war Malaya would become communist through their effort due to Chinese majority in the army. Great Britain provided officers and equipment to the group because it was the only local resistance to the Japanese. Outside of the jungle, the army obtained equipment and recruit Chinese and Malays. Jungle fighters increased from around 3,000 men and women in 1942 to 7,000 men and women in 1945. The MPAJA resisted large-scale action against the Japanese British advice, but the communist introduced representatives emerged as heroes after the war. Before the British military returned, the army attempted a brief, ineffective takeover of a political power. When the majority of MPAJA's representatives have surrendered their weapons to the returning British force, the group was formally disbanded. However, before the Malayan Communist Party uprising in 1948, its leadership, organization, and much of its weapon remained underground. Okay, thank you.
My name is Vincent. I'm from Diba. So today I'm going to present about the year founder and member of the organization. So first of all, the Malayan Communist Party was founded on April 1930 and it was dissolved in 1989. So the main objective of this organization is aimed to overthrow the colonial government. The reason is because they want to establish a communist people democratic republic of Malaya. So the first most influential member of Malayan Communist Party is Jinping. As you can see the picture, the first picture is the Jinping when he was young. Um, he was born on 21 October 1924 and he died on 16 September 2013. He was a Secretary General of MCP. He was also a Malaya communist politician, Malayan National Liberation Army and anti-fascist activist. He served as an anti-fascist guerrilla fighter in the Malayan People's Anti-Japanese Army and opposed the Japanese occupation of Malaya during World War II. After the failure of the MCP and subsequent gaining of Malayan independence, he had launched a second election campaign against the new formed Malaysia government. The reason is because he wanted to replace the new government with a socialist government in exile, but he had failed. At the end, he represented Malayan Communist Party to sign the peace agreement of Hatzai 1989. The second notable figure is Lai Tek. The second picture is Lai Tek when he was young. He was born on 1901 and died on 1947. He was a leader of MCP and Malayan People Anti-Japanese. But at the end, Lai Tek was died because Jinping went to Bangkok and Hong Kong to contact the Communist Party organization and ask them to assist Jinping to kill Lai Tek. So Lai Tek has been killed in Bangkok. The last notable figure is MC of MCP is Abdullah Sidi. He was born on 2nd October 1923 in Perak. He was a former politician of Malaysian who served as General Secretary and Chairman of the Malayan Communist Party. As a young man, he had joined KMM and became the Secretary of the KMM. He was also joined Malayan People Anti-Japanese Army against the Japanese. He continued as the leader of the MCP until the peace agreement of Hatzai in 1989. In addition, he was also one of the signatories of the peace agreement of Hatzai 1989. I finished my part, so I pass to my member.
Okay, today I'm going to talk about journey and history about the organization. Similar to other communist parties around the world, the MCP believed in mass and government reform. However, its goals was to achieve political influence through the development of the Socialist Republic of Malaya. The other progressive movement, the MCP has dedicated itself to the idea that the international communist movement will eventually contribute to local or social form. Communism itself was not only a Marxist of manifesto, but it was possible to operationalize the MCP in the sense of Malay. However, its goal was to achieve political influence through the development of the Socialist Republic of Malaya. Like other progressive movements, the MCP has dedicated itself to the idea that an international communist movement will eventually contribute to local or social form. Lack of financial and moral support from other communist movements all over the world led MCP to decide and act for itself. Furthermore, MCP's strategy was a threat to political security in Malaya as it was perceived, portrayed, and misinterpreted as a Chinese challenge to Malay political power. This suggests that the MCP was not supported and at the same time disoriented by its local issue by foreign communists. Number of visits were made by foreign communist leader or external in the Malay region. It was seen that they only offered guidance and explanation, leaving the issue of the Malaya rebellion local decision making. A lack of financial and moral encouragement from other communist movements around the world caused the MCP to resolve and operate on its own. Moreover, as it was seen, presented and misinterpreted as a Chinese challenge to Malay political power, the MCP policy was a danger to political stability in Malaya. That's all for my part. I will pass to my partner.
Hello everyone, my name is Lo Ming An. Today we're gonna talk about express an opinion about the organization aims. In my opinion about the organization aim is MCP, they are not just want to gain Malaya independence from British colonization, and they defended invasion from Japanese Empire. In the war, there are total 20,000 deaths who had died in the war fight against the communist insurgency. Yes, it may be sound crucial, but they are willing to do whatever it takes to fight for their country. I argue that MCP was internationally inspired by the international communist movement and at the same time act independently at a local level. Its aim was to gain political power in Malaysia and to establish a social republic of Malaya. Because of its political aims, MCP was banned and was acknowledged by the Malaysian ruling regime as a threat to political security in Malaysia. Next. In conclusion, the main objective Malaysian Communist was founded is to create a communist Malayan people republic in Singapore and Malaya, while spreading the ideology to the Dutch East Indies and Thailand to achieve political influence through the development of the Socialist Republic of Malaya, and to achieve political influence to development of Malaya. However, Malaysian Communist Party successfully gained Malaya independence from British colonization and also defended invasion from Japanese Empire. That's all my part. I pass to my next partner.
So hi, about the recommendation, Malaysian Communist Party was an illegal organization in Malaysia. Therefore, the government of Malaysia has responsible to crack down the organization. My recommendation is government of Malaysia can sign a peaceful contract with the leader of Malayan Communist Party, and government of Malaysia may give assistance package to all the members of Malaysian Communist Party. Besides that, government of Malaysia can also ban everything that relate to Malayan Communist Party. It has become this organization are destroying the harmony of the country. The last recommendation is to stop the supply and them daily supplier like food and drink so on. Once nobody supply them daily supplier, they are not able to continue the organization. Thank you.
Okay, that's all from us. Thank you.